You're now tuned in to 13scienceastrology.com. I want to immediately get set up. Please excuse the camera. I'm not sure how I'm looking. Like I say, I make these videos essentially by myself. So just bear with me with the camera work. You know, it's more so about the information and things of that nature anyway. So what I want to build on today is that I want to get into how you can actually access this money linked into your Social Security. And mostly everybody out there has a Social Security number and probably credit cards with Visa numbers attached to it, 16-digit Visa numbers starting with a 4 attached to it, which actually represents a debt that has to be cycled in the credit cycle. And basically what I want to get at is to get you to understand that in order to access this stuff, it's not about how much money you got. It's not about how wealthy you think you may be. It's about your ability to demonstrate the knowledge that you have when it comes to being able to access this credit and being able to actually lock down and secure an account so that you can use and spend this credit in the economy. And the money that you know may be attached to your name, which is your first credit bond, because all credit has to start with some form of a coupon or a certificate or a bond, and that bond is then transferred to some form of a computer and then invested into what's called time or the internet. And the internet is basically essentially a way to track money and signals and rhythms, algorithms, and things of that nature through time. So what happens is that everybody has a coupon or credit bond, and that's their name is the collateral for this bond. So everything that you did in the matrix when you was a child is what you got to remember was based upon an issue off of this original certificate, which you may call your birth certificate, which had your name in all caps when it's actually a certificate documenting the ship that you were given and leased. You were leased a ship, which is your body, a vessel. Just like a boat or a car or a vehicle. This is what your body is, and everything that a ship has in order to operate commerce, if you notice, you have it. Your body has it. Like for instance, a ship has what? A numbers, like you have to have some form of way to track it, like a serial number or some tag number. You have a number, a Social Security number. You have a way of tracking you. Sometimes they give you more than one number. You may have a number on your ID, a additional number that probably not even just your Social Security number, which may not even be listed, because you may like withhold that information to the ID department, but they still have a unique number which acts as a bond. And what they do is that they invest this stuff in the stock market. So in claiming what's yours, in claiming money that's yours, the first step is to first track down the original bond of the fund or the account that you are trying to resecure or take back. You got to remember, when you're trying to resecure and take back these accounts, you are engaging in what's called economic warfare. Economic warfare, and they will look at you like a foreign enemy, and their job is to block your access to this account, whereas your job is to gain total access to this account and to eventually get it to where you can convert it to some form of a currency and get it into your bank. So there's a million ways to issue credit through different certificates, through different names, because you have names like company names and things of that nature. These company names can be converted into credit, and they're eventually converted into insurance, which is what the internet essentially is a way to track insurance or money being traded 23 hours or 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the stock market, even outside of the stock market, and being transferred from computer to computer, or what you may call peer-to-peer sharing, which is what they're actually using to transfer funds from computer to computer. And you can access these funds and claim these funds overnight and secure them in an account and convert them into what you may call fiat notes or money or digital money, and then eventually cash out and get this money in your hand or into your account and convert this into products or goods. And I'm breaking it down like this because some people get, if you notice, like sometimes like when you get paid, if you get direct deposit, right, they put the money into your account, right? But the thing is that when they deposit that money into your checking account and you got direct deposit, you may not ever see that cash, the actual paper, I'm saying. You may not ever even see that because you may just go and, put it onto your Visa card, which is when you use it, as soon as you use it, it's automatically converted to Visa, and they now claim those funds and are holding those funds and essentially issuing you credit. So essentially, we are all living off of what's called credit. And there's karma associated with credit because credit is controlled by a sexual, believe it or not, a sexual contract. And it's tracked and traded not just through computers, and this is the secret that they're not telling you. And this, you can get very rich if you master this secret. And how it flows, the cycle of this secret is that it's not just traded through computers, but it's actually sent through various bodies or human beings or beings that are alive, breathing, that are hosts for credit, all forms of credit overnight. See, when this landed was called that Z state or that dormant state, when, especially like, say, for instance, you got major markets, like in the U.S., there's a time where everything goes into dormancy or, 0 hours, and various clocks in the U.S., which last for about, 4 to 6 hours a day. And during this time, this is when they send the credit through people. And there's select people based upon a structural way of tracking credit through Social Security and money. They have a supercomputer that's able to track and keep track of people's credit, people's money through Social Security. So everything you do in the Matrix, like again, you were given a vehicle and a vessel and a body, you were given, this is a karmic contract. You are leasing this. Even on a spiritual level, you have masters that stand over these contracts. That's what you got to remember. And though you think you're free and you can do whatever you want to do to your body and things of that nature, you have an obligation to your body. You have an obligation to your body as far as making sure that your body is up to par to be able to issue out through cycles of time credit at different times through various different ways of making money off of your body. Like essentially, you cannot make a living unless you're using your mind or your body, which is in astrology, you're tapping into Mercury in astrology. So you're using the energy and the powers of Mercury and tapping into your mind to operate the computer, to surf the internet, to do whatever it is that you do to make a living for yourself, whether you're a lawyer or a doctor, to heal your patients. So essentially, we are all caught up into what's called a karma of credit, that we can't walk out of our past life and get into a lot of these higher contracts that I'm talking about, where you live in this golden life with your twin flame and you feel like you're just dancing with the stars or whatever. Like, we can't get into this type of thing right now because we're having karma with credit, past life credit. See, these computers and these machines that's controlling this stuff never stopped counting. We did. We stopped counting. And we want to jump back in and start counting again and notice why the economy's messed up. This is why we can't get gas for 50 cents. And we got to pay $4 and $5 for it because we don't have the standard of credit, which is based upon Libra, and the energies of Libra is fucked up. So we're essentially charged with balancing what's called our past life credit. See, I'm here to teach you your role and responsibility in it. You may not can't fix the world problem, because this shit is controlled by women, believe it or not. Like, the credit industry, this is what I'm eventually show you, once the stock market closes and it's debited, once the money leaves the insurance companies, it starts with the original treasury bond, and it goes to the insurance companies on the internet. And once it leaves the internet, eventually it's debited by people, by human vessels, and then it's eventually transferred through the sexual experience and the sexual contract. It's transferred to what's called the woman, and one of her sexual organs, but it's done this way as capital. Now I want you to follow me on this. So when I say as capital, this means that it's not transferred in a sense of, well, like once the scenario is over, it's now transferred to a master computer. So even in order for her to access it as money and as credit, to live off of her sexual energy, she has to go and know how to intellectually finance or intellectually access the money so she can finance her lifestyle off of the sexual experience, because this is one of the the benefits of a woman's sexual experience, she's the receiver of the credit. The male issues the credit through the phallus and the penis through the sexual experience. He's the issuer of it, and it's given to the woman in the sexual experience in the form of credit, and eventually it can turn into children, which is all supposed to be credit and not debts. It's debited, but when it's debited, it's supposed to be debited. You're supposed to have money left over, and it goes into a credit account, and it's supposed to cycle around. This is serious. They track this through algorithms. There's doctors that use different companies. There's different stock companies you can invest in. Well, I'm not going to say all of it, but one of it is an energy stock, and it's tied into currency. And these energies are converted into numbers and decimals and currencies and things of that nature. And money is, when it's based upon humans and human effort, is based upon digital or digital energy, digital currency that's issued through energy. So, like, for instance, the strength of a particular human and that being to do a certain job or to do a certain thing is measured nightly without a person knowing it, is weighed on the credit industry and traded on the stock market. This is like the new slavery, and it's not being discussed, but this is what keeps us in the cycle of perpetual, okay, I got to try to get a job and make some more money. I'm over here struggling in my financial situation. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, or I'm trying to secure a loan for a house, but they're saying my credit score is only 600. Why? Like, why is my credit score not 700? Why isn't it moving? Though I'm trying to move my credit score up, it's not working. See, there's secret factors and secrets in the credit industry and little tweaks that you can do that will have you, where you have lines of credit, they're trying to throw you 50,000, 60,000. They got money sitting there just waiting for you. You can use this money, live off of this money, and flip this money as long as you got the day master. So you got to master the clock of destiny. You got to master the number 24 in your internally and externally, in your body and outside of your body, through accessing the 12 houses daily and nightly in the zodiac. Accessing those 12 houses and multiplying it by 2, which is 24. And you access that, and you have to have a sophisticated way of first knowing each house. So you got to understand, what is the first house? What does it govern? And this is the type of shit I'm going to be going into in my classes and things and ideas, and I'm going to be chopping it up to just open the mind so you could eventually do this thing on your own and map out this thing on your own and be making and take back what's yours for real and be trading on the stock market, making, you know, $5,000 and $6,000 worth of profit every day. Profit that may be locked into the market into certain accounts, and then I can teach you how to access these accounts, how to actually get the capital and currency out of these accounts to free you from this situation. So everything that I do, this is how I govern my life. Like right now, I'm up in this hotel, and everything I'm doing in this hotel, and even when I hope to move and travel, if I'm able to make enough, it's all based upon a credit account. It's always that it's credit, and I trade daily, and the profits are calculated and what's called, it's stored in what's called everybody's credit, which is tied into sports. But there's a way, as a Native American, if you can tie into the Dawes roles and tie into these different Native American roles, you'll be able to actually access this as money and get money out of this and take care of yourself off of what's really yours in the beginning. When you go around signing documents and your parents are signing documents for you, they were just giving away credit and money. And the goal is to learn the game, because it is a game and they're not going to give it to you. There's challenges in it, to meet every challenge, like sports, and to eventually